Hello viewers, this is Just Fake Network TV, a place where you can get the latest information about Nigeria news and all the news in details. Igbo's alternative response to Biafran agitation. In one of my recent writings, I had insisted that the sovereign state of Biafran is not a first-line demand of Igbo in Nigeria. There is a need to put my claim in perspective and drive home the points to clear both grey areas and doubt. Igbo are not peripheral players in the Nigerian project. They constitute part of the critical stakeholders. Apart from being one of the three major ethnic groups that make up Nigeria, they have invested in Nigeria like no other ethnic group. Igbo live and join in developing all hooks and crannies of the country, even though they do not forget home. Wherever they find themselves, they make home, though never forgetting their roots. They have permeated all parts of Nigeria, daring where most others would not. Their presence is strongly felt so much, so that they often constitute the second largest to the indigenous populations anywhere in Nigeria. They are like the boundary medicine, holding the country together socially and economically. The visible private infrastructures found all around the country, substantial number belongs to them. Any objective assessor would concede that their contributions are indeed outstanding and cannot be investments of a group that has no hope in or intention of staying in the Union. Nonetheless, there has been dissatisfaction on their part regarding how the country and indeed other ethnic groups have received them and their wealth, investment and contributions to nation building, and in developing their host communities since the Biafran forced on them following the forced military coup in which some northern leaders died. The policy to keep Igbo out of strategic positions in the country has been implemented to the letter. Initially, they were confined to playing second fiddle, but today it is if they play no fiddle at all. Largely sidelined from the public sector, where they found only in area constitutionally guaranteed. They turned to the private sector and found out into West African coast as well, and doing fairly well for themselves. Thus, business became their second nature as a free zone to fend for themselves and pursue happiness, using apprenticeship and settlement afterward schemes as a business incubator, which is implanted virtually in several families in Igbo land. This business engine breaks generational poverty transfer and gives every young hope that he too can break even despite his humble background. Let it be repeated that it is the marginalizations of Igbo that has resurrected the agitations for the sovereign state of Biafra. It was started by Chief Raf Owanzurike in 1999 when founded the movement of the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra MASOB, a secessionist movement in Nigeria associated with Igbo nationalism, which supports the recreation of an independent state of Biafra. Presently, with MASOB losing favor, the indigenous people of Biafra and IPOB is pushing the same agenda to a feverish peak. IPOB is another Biafran separatist organization in Nigeria, also with the aim to restore an independent state of Biafra in the former eastern regions of Nigeria through an independence referendum. It was founded in 2012, currently taking the Biafran struggle to its apogee, his Nnamdi Kanu and his brand. The IPOB. There are at least 30 other sundering Biafran agitation groups in the fray as at today. As popular as the Biafran agitation has become, the generality of the Igbo's do not want sovereign Biafran unless it becomes inevitable. In other words, Igbo may want Biafran only by default, if it is imposed. What then do the Igbos want in Nigeria? What Igbo want is precisely what the entire southern Nigeria, and to a large extent, the Middle Belt want. Restructured Nigeria. The Igbo position on what they want is present-day Nigeria is contained in the Aqua Declaration document, which Igbo ratified in 2018, containing their demands to remain in Nigeria happily. This position was reached by Igbo under the guardianship of Ohaneze Igbo as led by Chief Inaya Nwondo, its President General. Ohanaeze was also able to harmonize and align the positions of Igbo with the rest of South Nigeria and the Middle Belt, which culminated in the formation and consummations of the Southern and Middle Belt Leader Forum. The Southern and Middle Belt Leader Forum has just one thing binding them together: restructuring. Restructuring simply means restoring Nigerian to full federalism. Those who claim they do not know what restructuring means should refer to the distorted differences between the 1963 Republican Constitution and the 1999 Constitution foisted on the country by the military. The former is truly federal, while the latter is unitary with 68 items on the exclusive federal list, while leaving only 16 flimsy items on the concurrent for the federating unit list. There is no residual list reserved for the state. In other words, what Igbo want is the restoration of the nation's federalism as agreed to by the nation's founding fathers and colonial Britain before independence. Igbo do not therefore prefer the sovereign state of Biafra unless forced upon them. Those claiming that Igbo's want Biafra instead of restructured Nigeria are not sincere. However, if compelled, Igbo and the rest of their neighbors who may wish would establish a great nation. Studies have shown that the southeast is not landlocked, as it is just about 10 nautical miles to the open sea through at least 2 points, namely Azumili and Oguta. So they are not afraid of going it alone and are quite capable, as their ampline demonstrated during the war when Biafran scientists, prominently from the University of Nigeria Nsukka, the University of Biafra, formed the Research and Production Organization of Biafra, which included a weapon research and production group. They produced the flying Ogbunigwe, which was the first rocket to be wholly designed, developed, mass-produced, and launched in Africa. Restructuring is a win-win for all parts of the country. There is no region of Nigeria that does not have economic mainstays and huge natural and human resources compared to countries in Africa and other parts of the world. Nigeria has the potential of yielding up to 6 countries in eventuality of any breakup, and together they are better off if social justice takes its place and merit given the primary of place, and nepotism, cronyism, and corruption banished, and federalism restored. Time is running out. Wow, definitely time is running out. That's just the reality part about it. But the fact is that even the restructuring, did the Northerners accept this? The answer is that the Northerners do not accept it. So the best way is for every one of us to go on our way. That's just the reality about it. Because the North, they don't want restructuring for many reasons. One, they are enjoying free oil money from the South. And the second thing is that they have the plan to Islamize the country. But it's just so unfortunate that it's very impossible. It's impossible. They can even imagine their full life. That's just the reality about it. But the fact still boils down to the fact that I personally disagree with this writer in the issue of Igbo'S that want Biafra. 90% of Igbo'S want Biafrans, trust me. 19% of Igbo'S want Biafran. Now, even our brothers across River Niger have come to know the truth that Igbo man is not their problems. The fact is that let everyone agitate for referendum. Then they will decide how they can live together. To me, I believed in restructuring before, but after studying the northern behaviors in the country, I came to the conclusion that Biafrans is the only hope in Igbo land. That's just the fact about it. It is, they are the only hope right now in Igbo land. And I pray that they will get to their destination by the grace of God. So guys, what do you think? What is your own take about this? Your comment is highly appreciated, and kindly drop your comment at the comment section below. For those who subscribe, we want to say a very, very big thank you to you for subscribing. We say God bless you. If you're yet to do so, kindly press the subscription button below. And also please don't forget to press the notification button so that whenever we upload news, you will always be the first person to watch our latest news. God bless you. Have a lovely day. Stay safe at this crucial time. It is very important. Bye.